Happy Monday morning, 580, and happy MLK Day. I don't know if that's the right salutation for MLK Day. There's so much craziness going on in our country and world right now, and days like today, you just wish there were more people out there that, were like MLK. He made a big change in our country, and that kind of fits into the quote this week, so I'm going to jump in right into that. No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world. And that's from John Keating character in Dead Poet Society. That is probably one of my top 5 movies, and though I don't watch it very often, it was super impactful. And if you've never seen it, it's definitely a little darker, but it's a great movie. And I don't actually think you can be in education without believing that. And I know it's hard right now. Hard is not even the right word. It's extremely challenging and trying. But, our words to our students and our coworkers can change their world. It's that simple. Before we get into this week, just a few things on week one. One, the discussion posts were awesome. Both question 1 and question 2 had a ton of activity. And the one thing that really stuck out to me, and I know probably many of you have been in this cohort together throughout the program, but the varied experience in this class is amazing, and a lot of years of experience, but also a lot of varied experience. And so what I'd say is you start to build your research project / paper, looking 14 weeks down the road here. A big part of that is the discussion boards and the feedback you get from me, but more importantly from your classmates. And so I think you guys are lucky in that it is such a varied and diverse class that you're going to be able to get a lot of great feedback on those posts and discussion board questions, and that's only going to make your final product so much stronger. So I think that's awesome. As far as grading goes, I'm going to try to get feedback to you on the first assignment. I did just spot check, just peeked at them, and they looked great. Wednesday-ish, Thursday, somewhere around there. I usually grade the discussion post early. I'll probably get through those today, just so they're done and those are in there. But they all looked great. So let's move on to week 2. There at the beginning of each week, there's a box with a lot of language and what you're learning this week. I try to sometimes cut that down and just get to the heart of what they're asking or saying. So you're going to reflect on the research process, most importantly about impact, right? We don't want to research things that aren't going to cause school change and impact the school for the positive. Literature review, identifying and articulating actual research problems, how you're going to design the qualitative research study, and then you're going to start writing chapters 1. So that's kind of this week. I'm going to go through here on the announcement, and then I'll pop through the tabs. You have a couple readings, 2 chapters in the Bassett text, and then also 2 chapters in the Efron text. I think you'll get through those pretty quickly. It's good information, not too brain breaking this week. No articles or videos. I did leave this. It's from week 1, the capstone examples. I'll probably leave that in every week just so you have that link to these to take a look at them. Once again, these are past student examples. They're not perfect, but they're really well done and should give you some good examples. So the discussion question this week is really to jump in and get you going for your topic. So you'll begin writing chapter 1 this week. It's due next week. And the discussion board will really get help from your classmates and from me. And so in a couple paragraphs, discuss the topic you have chosen by stating the problems you have encountered in your current or past settings. So the big thing, and thank you for reaching out via text or email. Your problem needs to be something that can be researched. At the end of the day, 14 weeks from now, your big project does need to have a lot of sources, 16 sources minimum. And so it can't be a problem that is so specific or niche that there's no research out there for it. So that's the big caveat to make sure you can get the information you need. Discuss your passion for understanding more about the problem and what outcome you want. That's going to eventually be your purpose statement. And then also, what's your experience with the topic, your assumptions, biases, how those would influence the results of your study and how you can minimize your biases so your results are good. And so this is going to be kind of the rough draft for your chapter 1, which once again is due week 3. And I'm going to pop over to that in a minute here. Once again, initial response Thursday, 2 responses Sunday. But if week 1 is any indication, you guys are a very active group on the discussion board. And it's really important to remember that when you're responding to your peers, this is really helpful for them for their final project. So this isn't a typical discussion board week where it's, I'm going to post and talk about, what I think on this topic. It's really going to help them really hone in on what their problem statement may be, because to have 14 other perspectives is going to be really, really important. And then next week, you have 1 discussion question, and that's going to be, about, I'm sorry, this is for this week, not next week. That's looking ahead below. You have no assignments and you have 1 discussion question. And then so next week, you have a couple chapters, an article, and assignment number 2, the chapter 1, which we'll take a look at that in 1 second. This is the week view, same information. This is the intro with a lot of text. Like I said, I try to boil it down to kind of the most important thoughts there. Your readings, your discussion question. Same as what I went over. There's your discussion question. The link to chapter 1 is right there. And this is the assignment that's not due this week. It's due next week. 3 to 5 pages. It's a big part of these 2 courses because it's the starting point. So you're finding out what your purpose or problem statement is going to be. You're making that initial problem statement and getting feedback on it in the discussion board and on the assignment. So this is this is really the start of the end of your program, which is exciting and can be daunting as well. So you're going to provide a description, the problem statement. You need to include your desired outcomes. Make sure your first sentence grabs the attention of your readers. You're not writing a screenplay for a movie or anything like that, but it definitely, wants to be interesting because this is something that you want to share. This is something that you're passionate about. You have some research questions you have to write. They do have an article to help kind of go through that with you. And there's sort of a checklist here. So I find, there is a rubric, which is important to go over. And if you don't understand anything, reach out to me. But this checklist is super helpful because it really goes through did you have critical self-reflection? Is the problem statement clearly stated? Have you clearly articulated the purpose? So it really goes through and says, hey, did you hit all these points? Once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. And you guys have been, and it's been great. And, have a great week too. And once again, if you have any questions and need any help, please reach out.